Yeah. After Hours, here we are.
Here we are, another After Hours, another exciting episode.
I've got a big box full of things that I want to talk about here. There's just loads and loads of them. I've got 2 top 5s.
Great.
I'm going to do the top 5 female country and western singers in terms of which ones I'd most like to potentially have a relationship stroke sex with.
Mm-hmm.
But also mixed in with a little bit of singing ability as well, not to be, too one-sided.
Tammy Wynette was tragic.
She was tragic, and she features on my list.
And she was filmed a lot in her last hours. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
A lot of photographs of her sort of being strung out on
bit dead.
drink and sleeping pills and not nice.
I am also going to do, I was originally going to do top 5 films with animals in them. Then I realised that they were all rubbish, so I changed it to the top 5 worst films with animals in them, because I couldn't actually find any that were any good.
It's always easier to do a top 5 of bad films, I've found.
It certainly seems to be. What's wrong with that, Hollywood?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Is that it? Is that what you've got?
That's what I've got on my top 5s. I've got other stuff.
That's 10 minutes.
I've got On This Day.
We're on for an hour.
I've got On This Day.
Great.
I've got a couple of videos to play. We've got a bit of music today.
Nice.
And I've got a load of topics here that I want to talk about. You've got topics. I see you've got a load of topics.
Yeah, I've got a few things.
Do you want to do the first one?
Not particularly, but as you
go on. Before we start,
cornered me.
Before we start,
Okay.
we've got to hang on. We've got to have a little bit of applause there.
Self-congratulations.
Self-congratulation is no congratulation at all, but we'll do it anyway. We have just topped 10,000 downloads on iTunes,
Amazing.
and we only started monitoring iTunes 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So 10,000 in 2 weeks. Not bad.
Pretty impressive.
Not bad for a little startup. Website, 20,000 views. Just
Wow.
about by the time this airs, 20,000 views. YouTube, not quite as impressive, a mere 7,000.
Yeah.
But, it's not bad.
But then YouTube isn't what it used to be.
It isn't. In fact, it's a desperate
Yeah.
cesspit, to be honest with you.
They've rearranged everything on it. It's very hard to find what the videos are about or what the channel is about.
The whole thing's just gone to pot, really. They've made it completely impossible for anybody other than a corporate-backed entity to succeed.
Absolutely.
That's their intention.
Yeah.
Always was.
Yeah, so I think the days of YouTube are numbered.
They're definitely doomed. They're all doomed.
iTunes is the way to go,
iTunes, big time.
especially for us.
Yeah, we do so well on iTunes. Quite pleased with that. So, yeah, first thing on your list then. Go on.
Oh,
Do one.
It's a bit boring.
Oh, really?
It's just pilot episodes that were never aired.
Yeah, go on. Do one then.
Do you know what a pilot episode is?
It is the initial episode, which is basically made to punt a show to a network to buy.
Absolutely.
It's a tester.
And there's 2 different versions. There's the pilot that gets taken up and
Yeah.
produced into a series, and then there's one that never sees the light of day.
Correct, yes. yeah. There's the one that was actually literally on the executive's desk, and then there's the one that airs.
Cast your mind back to the 1960s Batman.
Yes, I will, yes. I'm casting it back right now.
Remember with, who was it? Burt Ward, Adam West.
Adam Wee.
Adam West.
I'm not Adam Wee, or am I?
He had a very bad time after Batman.
Yeah?
Yeah, I saw clips of him going around to local fairs and that kind of thing. He couldn't get an acting job because he was typecast as Batman.
I mean, yeah, completely. It ruined him. A bit like Christopher Reeve.
Yeah.
Who remembers anything that Christopher Reeve was in except Superman?
Well, he didn't do a lot after Superman, did he? Or?
No, he did some films before. There was a film where he played a Nazi.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I saw it the other day. He was playing a Nazi. I've forgotten what it was about now, but he played a Nazi.
There was a
He
film.
a bad guy.
There was a film where he time traveled.
Was there? Ooh.
Not through any machinery, just time traveled.
Oh, just through his own volition.
Yeah. He fell in love with a girl back in 300 years past.
Yes.
And he used to time travel back to, I don't know how, I know it sounds a bit
Yeah.
weird. He was in a film also with Michael Caine called The Mousetrap or Rat Trap or something like that. It was quite good.
Oh, that wasn't the one with, what's his name? With Lee Evans in it. That was The Mousetrap.
No, it wasn't. This was
Desperate.
this was going back quite a long time ago.
right, yeah.
Your favourite actor, I know, Michael Caine. I know you're a big fan.
As an actor, he's actually quite good, but as a human being, I hate him.
Well, back to
I'd punch him in the face if I ever met him.
yeah, back to Batman.
Yeah, go on.
So if you remember in Batman, you might remember some of the supporting characters. There was, of course, Commissioner Gordon.
Yes.
And there's the usual villains of the week.
Yes,
Egghead.
Joker
Vincent Price played Egghead, if you remember that.
I didn't actually like Batman. I watched a few of them, didn't really like it.
It was too campy.
It was a bit campy, but it was just more rubbish.
What they're calling camp now is actually just an excuse for being rubbish. There should have been a lot more serious.
Yeah, it was just lame.
And it was a different actor originally.
Who was it?
It was Weil Wagner.
Weil Wagner.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And he was.
Are you going to get caught in a loop like Barbara Bush?
Yeah.
Weil Wagner.
He was a lot more serious about it when you look at the YouTube clips of him doing a screen test. It would have been. He would have been more dark and more serious than Adam West.
Why the hell did they choose Michael Keaton to play him in one of the films?
I thought that Michael Keaton was pretty good.
I must admit, I watched about 10 minutes of the first film, and I've never watched one since. Because I don't like Batman. I actually just don't like the whole concept. I think Batman sucks.
Okay, well, I don't.
Yeah, I get that.
Well, anyway,
talking about it.
It was going to be a different. It was going to be a different lead actor and a different Robin as well.
Yeah.
And the guy.
Now Robin was camp.
Oh wow!
Short shorts.
Homosexual's dream. Oh dear.
He really was.
But he was, though. I mean, to be fair, he was. Yeah.
To be fair, he had short shorts on and tights and little booties.
And he lived with Bruce Wayne, and he was a young adolescent.
He did.
There
was something funny going on there.
Nobody ever mentioned anything about that. That was so weird.
Yeah.
Ever.
There's definitely something very odd going on in that mansion house.
If I was to say, here's my young friend who lives with me.
Yeah. People would probably jump to a conclusion there.
Most definitely.
Especially if he was wearing short shorts when he answered the door.
Yeah. But do you remember the original Batman TV series? And there was a Batgirl as well. You mightn't quite remember that.
Thankfully, I have no recollection of that.
Well, there was Batgirl, and she was going to have her own show as well. So they filmed, I think it was the 20 or 30-minute pilot, which you can find on YouTube. But no, it didn't see the light of day. They didn't go ahead with it.
Good. Batman was bad enough. Never mind Batgirl.
And then there was, Mr. Ed.
Mr. Ed, yeah.
About the talking
seemed
horse.
Okay when I was young, but now when I look at it, I think, wow, that's bad.
Well, again, you can find clips of it, a pilot episode, and it was a different lead actor.
A different horse?
No, the horse was the same. It was the same horse, but they had no problem with the horse. They liked the horse. They didn't like the actor.
Yeah,
So, and actually, he wasn't quite right. No, the actor they chose, I think, was a lot better for it.
Yeah.
So there's Mr. Ed.
Go on then. There are more.
Yeah, it's quite interesting, isn't it? The Munsters.
Yeah, I liked them when I was younger, I think.
Do you remember the black and white Munsters?
Yeah.
It was actually originally filmed in colour.
How weird.
And to me, it looked a lot better.
In colour?
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
And there was Herman Munster and the wife. Do you remember what the wife was called?
Oh, God, no. She looked a bit like Elvira. It was Morticia.
Morticia, yeah.
No, that was the Adams family, Morticia.
Yeah,
Adams.
let's not get mixed up.
I've forgotten her name. I always used to get them mixed up.
Sorry, I can't remember, but she was they used a different actress in the pilot. So it seems in these pilot things that they're not happy with the actors, and they shift some of the actors to get new actors in, and then they go ahead.
Yeah.
They have a problem with the actors. I don't know what goes on.
Maybe they just don't work.
Well, I thought they worked better looking at it. That's the weird thing about it.
Yeah, but maybe the network thought that they didn't work.
Well, again,
they've got the money.
The network thought so, and I don't know if you remember what was his name, Married with Children, Ted Bundy, the shoe salesman. I thought it was quite funny at the time.
At the time, it seemed quite funny. I used to stop up and watch that.
It was different, wasn't it?
Yeah,
for an American comedy.
Yeah, it was one of the funny ones.
And yeah, that's why it was different because it was funny.
Funny, yeah.
The mother and father was the same, Ted and Peggy, but the kids were completely different in the original pilot.
They swapped the kids.
They swapped the kids. And just post Star Trek.
Oh yeah, are you going to get caught in a loop again? Are you going nerded out again?
No, Leonard Nimoy.
Yes.
He was going to be in the 70s in what was so badly needed in the 70s. Another detective. This time it was going to be called Baffled. It had a very funky theme tune, which I wanted you to play, but you were too lazy to get the video for me.
Probably, yes.
He played a racing car driver turned psychic detective. He was a racing car driver, and he had an accident, and when he came round, he had psychic powers. So it was going to be yet another detective from the 70s.
No.
There is no possibility of crime in the 70s.
No, I mean, why would you even bother starting? Because you're clearly not going to get away with anything.
Crime must have been zero. I mean, there was Heart to Heart, there was The Invisible Man, The Incredible Hulk, there was The $6 Million Man.
Yeah.
There was no scope.
Batman.
Batman.
Wonder Woman, Superman.
No scope to commit a crime whatsoever.
No, it's just a waste of time bothering.
That's me a lot.
Is that it?
That's it, I'm afraid.
Oh, wow, you certainly peaked quite early on.
Yeah, I peaked. I spread myself too thin.
Right, okay, I'm going to solve last week's mystery voice
Let's
first of
do
all.
that.
Here's another clip of it. Hang on. Oop.
Davenport. Master Mumford's parents have come to see him.
That was his voice. I'm going to reveal it to be Claypole from Rent-A-Ghost.
It means nothing to me.
A lot of people will be saying that. They'll be saying, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Rent-A-Ghost was a 1970s stroke early 80s British comedy.
Yeah, around that time.
About an agency where you can, in fact, rent a ghost to spook people for your own means.
Oh, are you saying that this in your country, Britain, where you grew up, you had children's television? Because I know in Ireland, where I grew up, we didn't have any. When I came home from school in the late 70s, early 80s, the first thing that came on would have been either A, Bonanza.
Probably a man shouting at you, telling you you're not good enough.
No, Bonanza.
You're not good enough.
And Upstairs, Downstairs. That's what I was watching as a child. And the TV didn't start.
God, no wonder you turned out like you did.
It didn't start until 4 o'clock.
Oppressed much?
I don't know.
Watching Victorians and cowboys.
I think it was better for me. I think I learned more.
Hang on a minute. I've just solved the entire problem with what's been going on in Ireland with the Catholic Church and the priests. Bonanza, cowboy, homoerotic. Then you've got upstairs, downstairs, repressed. Homoerotic, repressed. Homoerotic, repressed. Repeat, repeat, repeat. It's priests.
Well, yes.
Homoerotic and repressed.
I don't know.
There you
I have
go.
no answer
I've
for you.
solved it. That's probably what caused it. Bonanza and upstairs, downstairs.
Well, that was children's television.
Well, I rest my case even more.
What else was there? Oh, Emmerdale Farm.
Yeah, well, that's still going.
Yeah.
Not really children's television, though.
No, but what happened was they repeated it from the very beginning. So I went back to the whenever Emmerdale Farm started.
no idea,
it was about mid-70s, I think, or early 70s.
Wow.
And so they started airing it from the very beginning every day.
Oh, God.
So this would have been the 80s, and I was watching 1970s Emmerdale Farm.
Yeah. Emmerdale Farm, we're now called Emmerdale, I'm told repeatedly every week when I call it Emmerdale Farm, is a soap opera in England. And its sole purpose is to, like most soap operas, make you feel that your life is better than theirs. And the theme for Emmerdale Farm is arguing.
Yeah.
EastEnders is depression.
Go on.
Coronation Street is deviousness and underhandedness and backstabbing. And Emmerdale Farm is arguing and anger.
Well, Coronation Street sure as hell didn't start out like that. I don't think.
A lot of things don't start out that way.
But I tell you, Emmerdale Farm was a great programme when it did start in the beginning.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Oh, right.
Good storylines.
Interesting, kind of.
Quite dramatic. I think a little bit better than it is now.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't watch it anymore. It's just people shouting at each other. It's awful.
Yeah.
I don't want to listen to that.
Yeah.
Another topic?
Yes.
Have you done with your...
Yes.
Because you wanted to go through the TV guide, didn't you? But
I did, and
we
you...
still don't have the link.
Well, I did send you the link.
Yeah, and as I keep saying, the studio is not where I am.
Okay, on the next episode of the Out There Hour, we're going to time travel through TV history. At any given point, we can pull up a TV listing. It could be from 1982 BBC, or it could be the birth of Channel 4, which was a very exciting time for me.
We could probably tell people what was on TV at the moment they were born, if they know the time.
Well, they haven't got every single day, every single listing.
They've got quite a lot, though.
It's quite random, yeah.
I can tell you what was on that day, then, at least.
You can tell you what was on, say, on a Friday on BBC Two.
Yeah, on this day in like 1980.
In 1979, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, kind of.
If somebody had bothered.
If somebody had bothered to write it down on a piece of paper or email it or send it by some medium that actually gets into the studio rather than to my personal
Join us next time on the Out There Hour.
Yeah, why not? Okay, I'm going to pick another topic.
Yeah.
I'm going to play something now, which I hope doesn't come up as a flag on YouTube, but if it does, so be it. I'll edit it out and you won't hear it, but here you go. What on earth is this all about? This is quite old now, but I'm going to play it anyway. Where is it? Here we are. Hang on. Do you know what that is?
No?
People are screaming at the screen or their iPod or wherever listening to this.
I think I know what it is.
Go on.
Is it from an Atari game?
No, oddly enough, but it is 8-bit music, so you're not far off. That is a video of a song. I'm not really sure whether or not to call it the artist or featuring in it. It's called Nyan Cat.
Okay.
Nyancat. Nyan Cat.
Is it like Crazy Frog?
Kind of. Somebody somewhere decided in their infinite wisdom they're going to make this song made up of meows and put this little graphic on the screen of a cat jumping up and down, and it's made of rainbows and stuff. It's completely weird and psychedelic.
What was it? Some kind of thing that took off on YouTube?
Yeah, it was really big.
It went
for a
viral.
While. Yeah. It was just weird. And I've never mentioned it before, and I thought I'd just mention it because it is weird. And somebody has made a 100-hour version of that song.
Oh, God.
A remix. And it's on YouTube. And one of the comments underneath it is pure class. They said, can you make a longer version, please? Because hitting the repeat button is really, really irritating.
Yeah. Somebody on a lot of drugs or mentally ill.
Yeah, I think you've got to be completely stoned.
I'm just thinking. I mentioned Atari though, and something occurred to me back in the day when video games were first invented.
Yeah.
And you used to plug it into your TV.
Yes.
And you used to play this thing. Was it Bok? You used to knock a white ball. It was
pong, ping, pong, yeah, pong.
Something like. Did you ever play that where you used to knock a white ball one over to the other?
Yeah, I had one of those.
It was two lines. It was a black screen, two lines, two white lines, and a white ball. And you.
I think I had one of those. It wasn't a ColecoVision. It was before that. It was actually. I think it was just that one game that they had on.
Yeah.
There. And I had the Atari 2600. They had like a wooden veneer case on them.
Okay.
And then they brought out a black slicker version.
And what could you play on that?
You got proper games for that. They were a bit rough, but they were proper games. I can't remember. You got usual Pac-Man type stuff.
Yeah.
But they were got colour in them.
And then there was, I suppose, pretty soon after that, you got PlayStation 1, did you? Or Nintendo, sorry.
Yeah, I think Nintendo was earlier, I think.
First,
and then you got Master System, and then the rest is history.
Yeah.
And you're just going to nerd out if you start talking about it.
I'm not
anymore.
going to. No,
Don't nerd out.
Yeah.
Don't nerd out. But I nerded out a little bit with Nyan Cat, but I just wanted to play it.
Resist.
Yeah, resist. Have you got anything else on your list?
Nope.
Or are you just struggling?
Just struggling. I'm just trying to make up things as I go along.
Wow. I've got so much on my list.
Yeah, but you say that, and then you wait for the last 10 minutes to
Sometimes
spill
I do.
it. Do it now. Come on.
Sometimes I do. I want to talk to you for a moment about the Council of Europe.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
Exactly.
Wow.
The Council of Europe. Do you know what that is?
No, really.
You're living under one of its rules.
Okay.
And you didn't vote for them. And I don't know who the hell funds them.
Hey, I didn't vote for anything in Europe.
No,
I
that's
didn't
true.
vote any of those people in.
No, neither did any of us. No, the Council of Europe is actually, it's a weird group. It's made up of foreign ministers from European countries.
Okay.
But the Council of Europe is bigger than Europe. It's got something like 40 or 50 countries in it. And they're the ones who drew up the European human rights legislation, which you'll hear claimed by people in courts all over the land. Like Abu Hamza in England will say, it's against my human rights to be deported. And it's that legislation that they're all referring to. Now, it's a treaty that they're all signatories to, but technically it's not part of European Union. It's got nothing to do with the European Union, in fact. It's completely separate. But it's based in Strasbourg in France. And they've got a very, very big, expensive-looking building, because I was looking at it on Street View. It's very hard to even get a picture of on Street View, in fact. Very, very hard. Big, fancy building. It's about 7 stories high. And it's on it's on a residential street.
Does it look like the Tower of Babel?
No, it doesn't really. Just looks like a bland.
It's not the one I'm thinking of.
No,
Okay,
I know which one you're on about.
Yeah.
It just looks like a bland European building,
Right.
like the Germans built it. Basically, it's just
Well, the Germans did build it.
it's boring and square, and it's got lines on it. It's pretty dull. to be honest.
Nondescript, but a lot of stuff happening there.
Yeah. And this is interesting. The guy in charge of it is, let me just get his name there. Now, bear with me. Thorbjorn Jagland, or Jagland, I'm not sure. He's in charge. Never voted for him.
No.
No idea who he is.
No, but listen, I mean, you take the European Union, the European Parliament
Yeah.
that you can watch on, I don't know, YouTube or TV or whatever. Now, all of those individuals there, none of us have voted them in.
Well, you get to vote for your MEP, in elections.
I don't even remember doing that.
Well, they have European elections often enough.
So what are you saying? So you vote one MP?
You vote for your MEP, your
MEP.
European minister, and then they
All right.
then are elected within the European Parliament to the positions
okay.
that they get.
So they shaft off to the European Union.
Yeah, they pop off to Belgium.
So they're in the Parliament there.
They are, yeah.
And then they make decisions
They do, apparently.
that you don't vote for as a nation.
Well, you don't get to vote for any of the laws that any governments make. You only get to vote for the people that make the laws.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, it's just I'm talking about the European Union.
Yeah, but you do get to
So
vote
you've
for
got
them.
elected MEPs there,
Yeah.
making decisions on behalf of everybody
Yes. Yeah.
that we don't get a say on.
Well, no, but that's the same in every government on the planet. Otherwise the whole country would be run by referendum.
Yeah, well, it should be.
Well, it should be, but it's not. But that's the problem. I mean, it's they're all run that way. But the point is that they elect, for example, the European president and the European finance
Van
minister,
Rompuy.
and all the other ones. They elect them within their little circle. I'm not sure if they've got anybody there who isn't an MEP. That'd be interesting. But
But say the European Union is there.
you get no say in who the president
But
is.
they're going to make decisions for
For
all of Europe.
Yes. Yeah.
And we're not getting consulted on it
No.
in any way, shape, or form.
Apart from picking who you elect. If you don't want to go along with what Europe's doing, then you should vote for somebody who disagrees with what Europe's doing, basically.
Somebody like Nigel Farage.
Somebody like him, yeah.
But most of the MEPs are totally pro-Europe.
They're complete Euro slags.
Every single one of them. I think Farage is the only one I can think of who isn't.
There are a few others in England. I don't know if there are any in Ireland. And
None.
there are big movements, however, in other parts of the world. Speaking of which, speaking of elections and all things democratic,
You're going to talk about Sarkozy?
Greece.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, Greece and France. We'll go to France as well. But yeah, Sarkozy's out.
Yeah.
Good flaming riddance.
I doubt it, Mark. I doubt it, because all it's going to mean is there's
Yeah.
somebody equally bad to take his place.
Well, the fellow who's taking his place, what's his name? Hollande?
Dunno.
Is it Jean-Claude Hollande? I can't remember his name.
Jean-Claude
Or is it
Van Damme.
Is it Francois Hollande? Hollande, anyway, his name's Hollande.
Okay.
He is the Socialist Party.
Right.
So, I mean, if France wasn't already left-wing enough,
Yeah.
Sarkozy was seen as more central. So this guy's even more left.
So he's going to, when you say even more socialist and more left, he's more communist.
More communist, heading towards communism. He's going down the high road towards communism.
That's worrying for
Yeah.
France.
However, he does say he seems to be less into the whole "you tell us what to do and we jump" kind of thing. So I don't know.
Do you think he's less pro-Europe?
Get this, Merkel, who I really need to get a jingle every time we mention her
Yeah.
name, some sort of Sieg Heil or something. Merkel, she said publicly that she supported what's his name? The guy who's just left. I've forgotten his name already. In France.
Sarkozy.
Sarkozy. She said that she supported Sarkozy. And I thought to myself, you are a sovereign leader of Germany.
Mm-hmm.
He is the sovereign leader of France. You've got no frigging business recommending or commending anybody in another country.
No, not in
That's
any way.
completely beyond her remit.
Yeah.
She's not allowed an opinion on
I mean,
that.
they've been treating this thing like a little
What a
club,
joke.
haven't they?
But more interestingly is Greece. The neo-Nazi party have just got some seats in the Greek parliament.
See, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. And they're actually the proper pucker Nazi party.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's only coming through now. The results are coming through. The main parties got something like 14% each or 16%. So they've been completely tranced, the main two parties.
But see, people are getting
they can't-
desperate.
The main two parties can't now come together and form a government because they would still be in a minority. They might be able to form one, but they won't be able to get anything passed because everybody voted for the anti-austerity, anti-Europe candidates, which is good, to be honest with you, at the end of the day.
Yeah, but the problem is the party that's representing is neo-Nazi.
Well, one of them is. They've only got like 2 MPs or whatever their equivalent is. They're very, very minor. But they're more, I'm assuming they're mostly independents, I would say.
See, that's the position I'm in at the moment. I'd probably vote for Adolf Hitler if he was anti-Europe and anti-austerity.
I probably would as well.
Do you see
and
what I'm saying?
not a great fan.
And I'm not a fan of Hitler.
No.
And we have to mention him.
Anything that breaks up the European Union
Is good in
would
my
get
book,
my
yeah.
vote, to be honest with you, because that is not. It's turning into a nightmare.
Yeah,
It really is. And a lot of people just don't even see it. They got their heads down.
and designed to be such.
Yeah. Oh, completely. Yeah.
It's a huge system of control.
Incidentally, lots of people have been having elections lately, and lots of people have been Putin, for example, just took office again against the constitution of the country, which he had to have amended. But lots of people are trying to get back into power and get the renewal and things like that. And there's been a number of it. There was another election this week in, was it Serbia? There's been loads of them. Jean-Claude Juncker, the European finance minister, I think he was always the ECB guy, I think he was the finance minister for Europe, he's just quit.
Right.
And I'm always interested when people in top positions quit.
Yes.
Because I always wonder, is it that you don't want to be in charge on the day it all goes tits up?
Yeah.
Because that's what always goes through my mind when somebody in a really good job quits.
Or were they actually trying to make improvements? Did they have a change of heart and wanted things to be better? They always seem to have to quit.
Yeah, sometimes the good guy has to quit,
Yeah.
like Kennedy did with a bullet in his head.
Yeah.
But generally, I think I'm more of the opinion that they quit because they don't want to be the guy left holding the baby.
Okay.
And he resigned. Now, he is interesting. I was looking him up. His father fought in the Weimar Republican army.
Ah.
He is also the longest-serving democratically elected leader on Earth, ever.
Wow.
He's the Prime Minister of Luxembourg.
Wow.
Yeah. But it's interesting that somebody from Luxembourg, which, let's face it, is a nowhereville. It's like the size of Rhode Island or something.
Yeah.
It's tiny. It's a little tiny nowhereville. You wouldn't find it on a map, even if you knew where it was. I would struggle to find it. It's so small. And he's in charge of the finances for the European Union. And this guy runs Luxembourg. That would be like getting somebody from the Uncle Joe's grocery store and putting him in charge of Walmart's finances division. It's absolutely insane.
Is it the hope that he wouldn't know what he was doing?
Maybe.
And
I
he
don't
could be,
know. Maybe.
Sort of railroaded and bullied into agreeing to anything.
You were talking about Herr Merkel's contacts in the past, her history before, weren't you?
I was. Well, it was something that was mentioned to me from a young lady from Germany.
Yeah.
That it was just unusual. You had East and West Germany.
Yeah.
And what was the communist side that was?
East Germany.
East Germany.
Yeah.
So they had nothing.
Pretty much.
But young Merkel, for some reason, was allowed.
She was on the eastern side, wasn't she?
She was on the. Yes, that was so weird. She was on the communist side.
Yeah.
But she was. Her alone seemed to be allowed to travel to the west to buy jeans or anything
right.
she wanted and back again.
Oh, right.
It was most
She had a pass through the Brandenburg Gate, basically.
She had some peculiar pass.
She didn't have to jump over the barbed wire and past the mines and the guns.
This was told to me by a lady who would know, a German lady.
Yeah.
Have you got any information on that?
No, I haven't, no. But I have actually heard a number of people say that, no, I wish I could remember the names, a number of people in German government post-World War II, the first elected government afterwards, were in fact ex-Nazis.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what politics is like. A lot of people pass their position on to their children. There's a lot of people out there who are the sons of politicians.
Mark, I mean, Kurt Waldheim, the head of the United Nations, for several years, was a well-known Nazi.
Yeah.
There's no secret about that.
You see, and they don't change their spots. They don't change their opinion overnight.
Schwarzenegger was a huge fan of his and close friend.
Schwarzenegger from Austria.
Austria.
Yeah.
Kurt Waldheim was.
It's very, very hard to believe what these people say on the surface of things.
Sure is.
Because changing their spots and all that kind of thing.
And now we've got an ex-Nazi pope.
Yeah.
Ratzinger.
Brown shirt. Yeah. What's that all about? Who thought that was a good idea? Who thought, let's choose God's representative on Earth, and I know, let's choose a Nazi.
Maybe we're going a bit over the top here on the Out There Are, but the Nazi connections keep popping up.
There's a lot of them out there. Their names keep reappearing, and their children and their children's children.
Yeah.
They all end up in key posts.
Because I think if you go back again, he must be getting. I'm wearing his name out.
Go on.
Gerald Williams.
Yes.
Literally wearing his name out.
Literally, yeah.
But if you go to his theory about the.
Should we start calling him Joe Will? Because there's not enough of his name left. Joe Will, yeah.
The high-powered Nazis nipping over to South America there with all their wealth.
Yeah.
So we're not saying that they're all still in. I mean, they're all dead now.
They are.
But their children.
Yeah. Who may or may not have inherited their belief system.
You can be pretty sure they did.
Probably would be my
These
bet.
were hardcore Nazis.
Yeah.
With their enormous wealth.
Yeah,
They bought into corporate America, we believe.
we believe so. They bought into lots of things. Finance.
In finance. And when you buy into corporate America, you buy into politics.
Yeah,
In America.
completely, yeah.
Because
Same thing.
it's unusual in America. You can very much lobby government
Yeah.
if you're a huge corporation.
When corporations and government mix and merge, it's called fascism.
Fascism.
That's the dictionary definition of the word.
Yeah.
And that's America, what America is. That's exactly what America is. It's fascist.
Mm.
Much the same as Europe is some sort of hybrid between fascism and communism, whatever the hell it is. I don't know.
Yeah, but I don't subscribe to this thing about with Kurt Wildheim or the Pope that, they did something in their lives, once in their lives. Oh, yes, so they happen to be brown shirts. Oh, they happen to...
Yeah.
Everybody was.
Oh, yeah. Well, everybody was Charles Manson once.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
Hey.
maybe he's misunderstood.
Hey, Ratzinger and Waldheim, why weren't you fighting the Nazis instead of joining them?
Yeah.
How about that?
That would be my question.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that would literally be like saying Adolf Hitler, he killed, millions
Yeah.
of Jews
Yeah.
and he tried to take over most of the known world, but maybe he was just misunderstood.
Hey, that's in the past.
Yeah, maybe he had one of these syndromes where, it makes him grouchy during the day.
No, I don't buy it, Mark. I don't buy it. Do you?
Not at all, no. Kill them all, that's what I say.
Good stuff.
Okay, yeah. Have you got anything else on your list, or have you completely run out?
Well, we could do the mystery voice on this day.
Mystery voice. I've got a good mystery voice this week. They're all
I know. I nearly said who it was. But
yeah, don't say it. Now, we're going to just play this little clip. Hopefully, you will hear it. Here we go. Here he comes. Hang on. Keep this down.
What happens?
Listen.
I'm checking out the house
Why?
in case there might be somebody there.
That's all you're having. It's the man's voice that we want, not the woman's voice.
He's a well-known actor.
He is mega massive.
The film may not be as well-known. I hadn't...
You hadn't heard of it, had
No.
you? No, which I thought was quite strange. I mean, I'll give you a bit of a clue. The film is about a subject that we have talked about and we're going to talk about in depth at some stage. It's very part of our idiom. It's within our remit for this show.
Yeah,
definitely. It's definitely out there.
We haven't covered this properly on the Out There Hour yet, and
No.
we are appealing to people
We've got some people
to
on the
contact us, alien abductees.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to take the whole thing a lot more serious from some of the
Yeah.
videos I've been watching from a group called Amok, is it?
Amok, yeah.
Amok. And the testimony of about 6 people I've seen, it wasn't what I was expecting. I was expecting some kind of loopy, freaked out characters. No, these people are very genuine,
Yeah.
very rational. It's just...
Well, I've got my contact Cecilia in
Ah.
in Florida, who knows lots of people involved in this, and I've got a few on Facebook now. So it's only a matter of time until we get some of these people on.
There's one in particular in the UK, Simon Parks. We want to talk to you.
Yes,
Please.
we'd like a word with you.
Yeah.
We've added him on Facebook, and we await his response.
Yes.
Shall I do on this day?
Yes, please.
Right. Now, we're short on deaths for today, so if you are planning on taking up rock climbing or parachuting, then today would be a good day if you're famous to start doing that, because there are very few famous deaths on this day.
What's the day today so I can consult my calendar?
Yes, you do that. Wednesday the 9th.
Wednesday the 9th. Whoa.
Famous births. I've got a brilliant one here.
Okay.
Howard Carter. Do you even know him?
No.
Howard Carter. He is the English explorer, adventurer who discovered Tutankhamun's tomb.
How interesting.
Yeah. He is the guy who discovered it.
How did he discover it?
Just, I assume, from references and looking and digging a lot.
Yeah.
Interestingly, Howard Carter, I seem to recollect, also found the Rosetta Stone, among other things.
Oh, just
I think it was him.
remind me of the Rosetta Stone again.
It
please?
was a piece of stone, part of what they call a stele, but I'll go into that. It looks like a tombstone. And on it was a bit of Egyptian hieroglyph. It was also written in, I think, modern Greek and Coptic Greek, if I remember correctly. And because they understood Greek, they could translate the hieroglyphs. And it's what basically, it unlocked the hieroglyph language to people because nobody spoke it. So that's what did it. I wish I could remember the name of the guy who actually deciphered it, but I seem to remember that they actually sent it to a guy, I think he was 17 years old, in France.
Yeah,
And he decoded it in his bedroom.
I've really got my doubts about that, whether they can really decode the hieroglyphics.
No, they can. It's dead easy. It's old science. It's all done.
You reckon?
Yeah. Yeah, it's all done.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
You believe what you like. You just go.
I think they're looking at stuff and saying, "Oh, that's what that means," and they haven't a clue.
You fly in the face of everybody else. You do that.
That's my job.
Yes, you do that. Billy Joel, born today.
Born today.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Billy.
Billy Joel. Now, here's another name that you probably won't recognise. Carl Gustav Lavelle.
Carl Gustav. Was he a psychiatrist of some kind?
No.
No.
You say that about all Germanic sounding names.
I do. I'm usually right.
No. He was Swedish and he was an inventor. And if you, people are probably not even aware of this, but there's a company out there still going today called Alpha Laval, I think it's called.
Okay.
And I think they are of his name. I don't know if he owns it or his ancestors own it or his, what are the people come after him called? His children's children. If they own it, I don't know. But I suspect they do because it's Swedish and so was he. He invented all sorts of stuff, really. But interestingly, well, not really interestingly, but I'm going to go into it anyway. They make lots of milking machines. So anybody out there who's got a cow and milks it will probably have an Alpha Laval milking machine.
Did he invent the milking machine then, the guy?
Let's go with it. Let's just say.
Okay, yeah.
Let's just
I
say,
reckon he did.
Probably, yeah. Almost definitely, in fact. Events on today. Now, some of these are pretty good. The 17th Amendment of the United States Constitution. 1973, or is that 1913? I can't read my
Why
handwriting.
do they keep amending the Constitution? What's wrong with it?
1913, it basically gave provision for elected senators.
Okay.
So, yeah. Well, they keep amending it because it keeps getting in the way.
It keeps getting in the way of the plan.
Yeah. I mean, the original Constitution gave you loads of rights, like freedom of speech.
All this freedom and liberty and all that. I mean, what do you need that for?
They don't amend it to give you more rights.
No, I don't want freedom and liberty. I want to be safe.
Exactly. 1960, still in America, the FDA, the Federal Drug Agency, I assume it is.
Yeah.
They approved the contraceptive pill.
Well, they've also approved the human microchip recently.
But why would the Food and Drug Administration approve... Oh, actually, no, I'm thinking of the... that is for that correct one for the pill, isn't it? I'm thinking of the food one. Because the food one... There are a couple of things.
There's the Food and Drug Administration.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's about food and drugs and
Yeah. Or maybe they changed the
name. Are you
name.
thinking about the other one?
There is one for the food, but the food people approved something which was technically a drug, or was it vice versa? I can't remember anymore. I've forgotten my point anyway.
What do you think of them approving the microchip?
Well, you don't eat it.
They've approved implants.
Yeah.
A microchip implant.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Well, from a safety point of view or from a tyrannical 1984 point of view?
Both.
Well, from a safety point of view, it's probably perfectly safe. But from a...
But you could be controlled by a microchip, couldn't you?
Only if you live in sci-fi.
Yeah, well, what about the science and technology that they haven't told us about? You've got to remember, back in World War II, the computers existed. They weren't made public until the 60s, but they were using computers for 20 years.
Yeah, valve ones as big as buses.
I know, as big as a room. I know
Yeah.
all of that, but nonetheless, the public weren't aware of the word computer.
No, but
until the 60s.
They were doing basic number encryption, so it was really elementary stuff. It wasn't computer in any sense that you would detect one today.
You talk as if you were there.
I am.
It's unbelievable. You talk like you were there.
I am a little bit aware of such things. I have some
But
knowledge.
you weren't in the room.
No, but I've.
Were you
watched
in the room? Did you speak to them?
I have actually spoken.
You can't say with your hand on your heart unless you were in the room talking to them.
I've attended a lecture by somebody who was in the room.
Really?
Yeah.
What, in the computer room?
I have attended a lecture of a guy. His name was Duffy. His name was American chap, and he was a specialist in decrypting ciphers.
This is back in the day when they were all lining the walls. That was a computer. It was a huge room, and it was a load of printouts.
He was basically going over the basics of deciphering and how to decipher a cipher with no pre-existing knowledge of it.
Didn't IBM have some kind of involvement in the
Well, they had involvement with the Nazis, I know that much.
They did, didn't they?
They
Yeah.
did.
The Nazis learned a lot from IBM, or was it vice versa?
I'm not sure. I would need to look that up.
Can we ever get through 10 minutes without mentioning Nazi?
Probably not.
It's very hard, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Eh?
Yeah. Oh, good morning, Israel, by the way. We do keep getting a lot of listeners from Israel, and I wonder
Yeah,
why.
well,
We do keep talking about the Nazis. They probably think we're Nazis
We
or something.
did find out something about
But we
Israel.
do slag them off quite a lot. I mean...
Oh, we're not pro-Nazi,
Nobody
Israel.
could accuse us of being
Come on, Mossad.
Seriously.
Yeah, listen properly.
Yeah, if that's you that's been going through my bins, Mossad, seriously, tidy up.
Yeah.
Okay, next one. 1994, a happy one this time. Nelson Mandela becomes president of South Africa.
Ah, that's nice.
That's a nice chap.
Winnie Mandela.
Winnie Mandela, yeah. Wow.
Oh.
What a bitch.
Don't get on the wrong side of her.
Wow.
She will put a tire around your neck and set fire to it.
Yeah, she seemed to be
Fact.
somewhat agitated.
Sorry, that's fact. Winnie Mandela was
Yeah. Why did she get locked up for something like that? Did she? You tell me more.
I think she did. I can't remember. It's something I shall never forget. I read it several times about this. I forget what they called it, the burning necklace. But she would put a necklace, or a rubber tire around somebody's neck and set it on fire. Can you imagine how painful that would be?
Can you imagine how awkward it would be? I mean, surely they're going to move. And also, tires are really hard to set on fire. You'd have to build a wood fire to set the tire on fire.
Not if you doused it with petrol.
Petrol goes out in seconds. See, when people tell you stories like that, people often forget the logistics of it. And if you've ever tried to set a tyre on fire, you realise they're not flammable.
Let's do an out there hour experiment on you.
Yeah.
And let's put a tyre around your neck and set fire to it.
Now, I've got here, 2005, Chief Pedo takes charge, but that actually is interpreted to the aforementioned Ratzinger. He assumed power. I like to write Chief Pedo because I remember who he is then.
When did he assume power?
2005, apparently.
What, he became Pope then?
I thought it was more recent than that.
Boy, that's 7 years.
Yeah, apparently so.
Wow.
I didn't think so, but that's what I found.
He's been saying some wacky stuff.
Well, why wouldn't he?
I mean, he's
The guy's a Nazi pedo king. What do you want?
Well, it's just the stuff about UFOs. Why is he saying that there's a real possibility of UFOs lately?
Well, because he's beginning to look increasingly idiotic and redundant. He's trying to catch up.
He told us that we went to watch Harry Potter.
Why? Oh, yeah, because it was...
Satanic.
Occult. Yeah, unlike Catholicism, which is also satanic. Next one. 1955. Bit of a theme going here. Germany joins NATO. 1955.
Okay.
Well, it's just...
Good or bad?
Now, here's a good one. 1950. L. Ron Hubbard. He wrote Dianetics.
Correct.
Yeah?
Correct. I know who that is.
Yeah. What a mentalist. We've got to get somebody on from the Scientology.
Is he the Moonies?
Scientology.
Oh, is that not Moonies? Scientology.
No.
Oh, they're two different things.
Completely different things. And decades apart.
Really?
Yes.
So if you're... what did you call it again? Dianetics?
Dianetics.
I used to pass this particular shop front
Yes.
in Dublin years ago.
Right.
And up on the top...
Did you do a personality test?
I no way. No, I had no idea. I was lucky I didn't. It was Dianetics on the front. Anyway, I didn't know what that meant.
Yeah.
And there was something about a personality test, and I thought, nah, I don't think I want my personality tested for a start. In case
it
they
might
find
break.
out. Yeah, in case they find out something. But I've discovered afterwards that was Scientology.
Yeah.
They didn't say, if they'd said Scientology above the shop door, I would have known what they were.
Yeah, you would have been straight in.
Yeah, no.
Please tell me what to believe. I'll go for anything. All right, I'm going to press on because I've got more to do here. Now, 1785, Joseph Bramah, he patented the beer pump. What do you think about that?
This day in history is actually turning into quite a long day in history.
Yeah, I went to extra effort this week.
You sure did. Extra interest. The beer pump.
1978, Aldo Moro, found dead. He was the Italian Prime Minister. He'd been kidnapped and they had beaten him and shot him.
Who's they?
I think it was the mafia.
You reckon?
I think that's what the news said anyway.
That's what the news said.
Yeah.
Wow, that was pretty...
yeah.
That's pretty interesting.
1502, Columbus sets off west.
Good luck, Columbus.
Good luck with that one. See what you find. Now, here's a good one. 1994 in Kinshasa, Zaire, which I don't think exists anymore, does it?
Zaire. There was a big fight in Zaire between Muhammad Ali and some other guy.
Yeah, the Rumble in the Jungle.
Rumble in the Jungle, yeah.
Well, they quarantined it because they got Ebola.
Ooh.
Ebola, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen.
Well, the whole country.
Ebola. They quarantined the country. Well, Kinshasa, at least, anyway.
Ebola is that plague from the rats, is it?
I'm not sure where it originated from. I know it's very nasty.
Is it Black Death?
No, that's the plague.
What's Ebola then?
It's just a virus that kills lots of people.
Oh,
it's
okay.
nasty.
You don't want to get it.
No. We've got 15 minutes left. We've got to get some top fives done.
Oh, yeah, let's
Have you
do
got another top five, or have I just got mine left?
Well, actually, this week we're talking to Paul Gershio
Yeah.
from Project Merlin, I think, or the Merlin Project,
Talked to him 2 days ago.
about his
Continuity much?
about his amazing computer program that can predict the future.
Yes.
And so we were going to do a top five of supercomputers that have gone mad, but
Oh, now it's computers that have gone mad. Niche much?
I couldn't figure that out either. So
Good God.
it's a top three that I scribbled down just before we went on air.
Do it.
It's terrible.
Do it.
HAL
Do it.
900 from 2001.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Bat computer, Batman's computer, because we were talking about Batman.
That's basically a wall with a slot and a flashing light.
The computer from Superman 3, I just nicked from you.
You nicked from me, yeah.
Have you got one?
Whopper from War Games.
Okay, how about the Matrix computer, whatever that was?
Don't know if there is an actual computer. It's a matrix,
Yeah.
by definition.
Let's move on really swiftly.
Gloss right over that.
That was
what
bad.
a disaster. Country and Western singers, female variety.
Nice, yeah.
Number 5. Now, I actually could only come up with 4. So number 5 I just picked off of a page somewhere
Okay.
because I thought, well, she looks nice. Linda Ronstadt.
Yeah.
I had heard of her, but I wouldn't really recognise her songs, to be honest with you. But I needed 5, so I just picked her and stuck her on the end.
Well, she's a kosher country and
apparently
western star,
yeah. She's got an Emmy and things.
She did a duet with Aaron, what's his face? It was quite a big hit there in the
idea.
80s. Yeah.
Not a clue.
Oh, yeah.
Not a clue.
Yeah.
Number 4, not known for country and western, I didn't think, but I saw a name there and I thought, I like her, so she's going on at number 4, Olivia Newton-John.
Country and western?
Yeah, and she's got Emmys for it, to prove it.
Oh, fair enough. And there she is.
Yeah.
I know you're a bit of a fan of Olivia Newton-John.
Quite
aren't
like
you?
Olivia Newton-John.
Xanadu.
Like one of my
your
top
favourites,
favourite
wasn't it?
super
You
count
like
songs.
that, yeah. And
Xanadu.
she did one as well about physical, all the fat men in the
Let's
gym
Get Physical,
working. Do
yeah,
you remember that?
yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. Number 3, Dolly Parton.
I love Dolly Parton. She was
I
so
like her.
good looking when she was young.
She was brilliant.
She's still good looking, but she's
is.
about 120 now.
She's probably at least 120 now, yeah.
But God, she was gorgeous in the 70s.
Yeah. Number 2, previously mentioned, Tammy Wynette.
Yeah, tragic, horrible tragic end.
Yeah.
The fact that it was so well documented, I found, was a bit disturbing. I watched, I think it was on the Biography Channel, something about her, and they just had so much footage of her
There's a biography channel.
zonked out on the couch.
Yeah, on drugs and things. I
Yeah,
assume.
yeah.
Number 1, my personal number 1, just because I quite like her, June Carter.
Yeah, Johnny Cash's wife.
Yeah, June Carter.
Why do you like her?
I don't know.
Think
She
she-
just looks a bit minxy. She looks like she's a bit
She
cheeky.
sure does. Again, back
You
in
look,
the 70s.
you look
yeah.
at Tammy Wynette and you look at Dolly Parton and you know it's all show. But you look at June Carter, I reckon she's, kinky to the core.
She's got a wicked twinkle in her eye.
She's kinky to the
You're right,
core.
I spotted that.
Ah, yeah. Kinky to the core.
There's a few more. There's Crystal Gale and...
I thought about putting her in at number 5, but I didn't.
Yeah.
And there was a few more modern ones that I thought, nah, screw them.
it's not the same, is it?
Nah.
Well, Shania Twain...
Shania Twain, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a couple of those ones. I just didn't bother with
I
them.
quite like Shania Twain.
She's all right.
Yeah.
She's
not bad.
Yeah.
She's not up to the caliber of the 70s ladies.
No.
They had
nowhere near.
sex appeal, didn't
Yeah,
they?
yeah. June Carter.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen,
You're right.
June Carter.
I've always had a secret admiration for June Carter. Yeah.
She's the one. I'm going to do another top 5. Straight in, another top 5.
Let's go straight into it.
Right, okay, press on. Worst films
Oh,
with
yeah.
animals in them.
Go
now,
on.
I had so many to choose from. Number 5, Gorillas in the Mist.
I thought it was all right.
I particularly dislike it because Diane Fossey wasn't a particularly pleasant person.
No.
She did very unpleasant things. She
did she used to-
abused,
did she used-
abused the natives and all sorts of stuff.
Did she lobotomize the gorillas or anything?
All sorts of nastiness.
Really?
Yeah, I can't remember
Typical
what she did
scientist,
exactly,
eh?
but there was loads of
Yeah.
it. She wasn't that pleasant, to be honest with you.
How interesting.
Yeah, wasn't that keen. Number 4. Yeah, Disney features in this a little bit. The Cat from Outer Space.
Oh,
the film.
Jesus, yeah. Oh, God.
God.
I'm sorry.
A cinematic abortion.
I'm sorry to go off topic.
Wow.
But there's another Disney film that made me want to commit suicide. The computer that wore tennis shoes, and it's still shown to this day. Oh, my God.
Oh, that should have been on your top 5.
It should have been on my top 5. I think it was Ryan O'Neal when he was about 14 playing a super intelligent kid. Actually,
I've never heard of that one.
and Herbie, all of them.
Oh, God.
Oh,
yeah,
Jesus.
desperate.
We'll do another.
No, you need to do another top.
We'll do a top 5 bad Disney films.
Save it.
Actually,
I've got so many. Maybe we'll do a top 100.
A top 100, yeah.
Number 3, you've mentioned him a couple of weeks ago, Beastmaster.
A great film. Absolutely fantastic. He could talk.
I mean, I know there are animals in it and he wasn't an animal, but wow.
It was great.
Awful. Number 2, another Disney film, also featuring a cat, That Darn Cat.
Can't place it. What year would that be now?
Oh, late 60s, I think, early 70s.
Oh, they're the worst.
It was just awful.
Was it Disney
It was
as well?
like The Cat from Outer Space. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, what the hell was
I
it
think
about?
Dick Van Dyke might have been in it.
Oh, God, it gets worse. Oh, the
It was
humanity.
just, the humanity of it all. Oh, the humanity. Number 1, by far and away, possibly one of the worst films even that I've ever seen. Never mind with animals. It would probably be number 5 on my worst films ever. Seabiscuit.
Oh, wow.
What on earth were they thinking?
I'll
when they
call
made
you
that?
Seabiscuit.
Yeah.
And,
Are you going to raise me?
Warhorse.
Have you seen Warhorse?
Oh,
The new one?
I thought it was going to be about war. It's actually about a bloody horse.
The title gives
Yeah.
it away.
I thought it was going to be about. I was going to look at lots of good, war footage, and there was going to be lots of trenches and uniforms. It's a bloody horse.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
It's been a stage play for years and years and years.
To be fair, you've got to be interested in horses.
You've got to be borderline fetishist with horses.
Well, there is a film about that called Equinox or
Equinox? Ooh.
Do you know that one?
No, I just like the title. It's
About the chap who did have a fetish for horses,
Oh,
and he
God.
was always breaking in and
What on earth are you
and playing
watching?
with them. It was a film with Richard Burton, and it's also a stage.
Richard Burton was in it.
It's a stage play, and Harry Potter's been playing the lead part.
Oh, that's what he's in currently. I saw him in some sort of
It's
stage
about
thing,
a boy who really loves horses.
Ew.
Who loves
And it's
horses?
Harry Potter.
Who loves horses?
Loves
with
horses,
this-
yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the Pope goes on about Harry Potter. Wow. I think maybe that would be, slightly less.
Oh, the films that the Pope could talk about.
Yeah.
There's some really you talk Saw and all those things that I've never watched. them.
American Psycho.
Wait, there's Saw and there's another couple of ones about serial
There's loads of them.
torture horror.
Oh, loads of that kind of
And
thing.
I've never looked at any of those films.
Oh, no, they're just nasty.
I can't do that.
I can't deal with those.
Yeah.
So that's my top 5 done. I was going to play some music, but I'm not going to play it. Shall I play it or shall I not play it?
Are we out of time?
No, we've got time, but when we come back, we'll only have like 5 minutes.
No, let's chat away about stuff.
Yeah, we'll do the music next week. But what have we got on this list here today? We've done the films, we've done the singers. Oh yeah, I wanted to talk about your artistic liking.
Okay. Oh, on Facebook.
Yeah, it's a catchphrase that we developed earlier in the week. Artistic liking.
Yeah, I've got to do it.
Yeah.
I don't want people to think I'm ignoring them on Facebook.
So every time anybody says anything, does anything, posts anything, you artistically click like over and over and over
and
again.
I want them to like what I post
But
as
they
well.
don't, do they? Nobody else does it.
No, but sometimes some people do.
Other artistic people.
Occasionally they do. But that's the whole point. That's the whole point of a like.
You're trying to find other artistic people. Maybe we should start a group.
No, it's
artistic likers, and you can all sit there in a group, continuously liking things.
It's a feature of Facebook, and it's there. That's what the like button is for.
Can you like the fact that somebody else likes something? Because you could get like a mega loop going. If you got all the autistic people to join a group called Autistic Likers, one of you could post something like hello, then you could like it, and then I could like the fact that you liked it, and then somebody else could like that, and we could crash Facebook.
Now, to be honest with you, it's kind of rude not to like things that people put up. I mean,
I never click
You're
like.
showing appreciation, saying, yes, I agree with that sentiment, I'm with you on that. So
I agree with lots of things, but I don't go around liking them.
That's the whole point of Facebook. That's what the like button is for.
I'm going to drop an interesting bomb on you.
Go on.
Because we've got 5 minutes left.
Right.
I wanted to talk about the MI6 agent who died mysteriously in London, was it last year? And somehow managed to put himself, already dead, in a bag, zip it up and lock it from the inside with the padlock on the outside.
Yeah.
He then also managed to turn on his central heating in the middle of August, in the middle of a heat wave, turn it right up to the nuts and decompose his body so much that there was no DNA evidence from anywhere else.
Yeah.
That is a really unfortunate death.
That's a really remarkably unfortunate death.
What are the chances of that?
And not that unusual.
No?
No.
Oh.
There was a banker there in America. He stuffed himself into a bin. Suicide.
He stuffed himself into a bin. Yeah.
Killed himself and stuffed himself into a bin.
Yeah. Wow. It's,
yeah. See, that's
it can happen. It's one of those freak accidents of nature.
We need to look into it a bit more because we're going to be having Paul Westwood on in a few weeks.
Oh, yes. Talking about Dr. David Kelly.
Dr. David Kelly. And what I want to say to Paul is, what about all these, like that one you mentioned and one I've just mentioned, what about these other suicides, apparent suicides,
yes,
where they go to such trouble to dispose of their own bodies?
Yeah, I mean they got professional contortionists and things. Why you would do that for a living, I don't know, but they got professional contortionists to try and get into this bag to say, and they tried 300 times, I think they said, and none of them could do it.
Well, one I shall never forget was a Washington madam on the Alex Jones. A Washington madam. When I say a madam, I mean
she is actually a madam.
No, she was a proprietor of a whorehouse.
That's what I'm saying, a madam, yes. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
And I remember her on the Alex Jones show, and I remember how rational she was, and she was going to be doing some whistleblowing on a few of her clients.
Yeah.
Because she was coming under some pressure. And it was very evident that she wasn't distraught or wasn't wanting to kill herself or anything like that.
Yeah.
A week later, she was found hung.
Ah, interesting.
It was really, I found that very upsetting because I do remember listening to the lady.
Yeah, yeah.
And to see it all seemed to unfold in my eyes. She wasn't suicidal, Mark.
Yeah, yeah.
No way.
Seems to happen quite a lot.
Just for the record, I'm not suicidal either.
No, me neither. I'm more homicidal than suicidal.
Yeah.
But, incidentally, you heard about the missiles they were planning on putting on roofs around London. You heard about that. The guy who broke that story on Twitter, you need to seriously live more on Twitter and less on YouTube.
Okay.
YouTube's just full of
Facebook, I'm on.
Yeah, Facebook's a bit sucky, to be honest. But Twitter, a guy in that building, he broke the story on Twitter directly and said, here's a leaflet that's just come through my door. It was on in seconds. Mm-hmm. And that same guy who broke the story and made all the controversy go across the news, he's been interviewed on the TV a lot of times. It's the same guy they keep interviewing who tweeted it. He has been evicted. And the guess what? The grounds they used to get rid of him were he had an unauthorized broadcast from his flat, and it was in his tenancy agreement that he couldn't do that. Basically, somebody interviewed him.
Wow.
And they're kicking him out, and he'll be out by, I think, sometime the end of this month, next month, before the Olympics start, by the way.
And
he's going to be gone.
What was his take on it? What did he think about it?
He was just perturbed that the army could come along and stick a missile battery on his roof.
Yeah, I saw somebody posted on Facebook, actually, saying that they could explode any minute. They're most dangerous.
They generally don't, though, otherwise the army wouldn't really be using them, in fairness.
No, but...
It'd be rather awkward to have a missile that blows up randomly.
So this chap, then, he just went out and he told everybody that they were fixing...
Yeah, he said, what the hell are you doing? This is crap, nobody even asked our permission, blah, blah, blah. And now he's being kicked out by his landlord.
Oh, how interesting.
Yeah, I wonder if he's suicidal as well.
I hope not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think we're about done.
Thank God.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're that's it. We're there.
Well, thank you, Europe, Africa, and the Middle East.
Yes, particularly Saudi Arabia, who seem to be one of our biggest customers.
We'll see you next time on the Out There Hour.
See you all later, everybody. Bye-bye.